Next property is solubility. Okay, so for example, if I want to make a sugar solution, I will be adding a spoon of sugar in a glass of water. I try to stir it and it will get dissolved. Okay, so now what I'll say, this is a soluble solution where the sugar is getting dissolved in water. When I'm taking a glass with a spoon of sand, when I try to dissolve it, it is not going to dissolve. It is what you call it as insoluble. Okay, so substance which dissolve in water completely is called soluble solution. Solution which does not dissolve in water is what you call it as insoluble solution. So soluble substances solute disappears and mix evenly. For example, salt and water. Insoluble substances solute stay visibly. For example, oil and water. When you try to dissolve oil in water, obviously it's not going to get dissolved. So very good example of soluble substances are like salt, sugar, lime juice with water, vinegar with water, milk with water. Insoluble substances like sand with water won't dissolve. Chalk powder with water won't dissolve. Wood dust with water won't dissolve. Even oil with water, it won't dissolve. Next property is floatation in water. Float or sink. In insoluble substance, two things happen. Okay, a substance will go away and settle down at the bottom, or they'll float on the water. For example, paper boat. When you try to make a paper boat and try to put it on the water, it will just keep on floating. But when you try to throw a stone in the water, it just goes and sinks. How? So some objects float in water like oil, wood, balloon, ball, feather, rubber. But some objects sinks like coin, marble, stones, pebbles, metals. Okay, so why some objects floats and why some objects, sorry, they sink? Okay, the reason behind is density. If the density of the object is less, it is going to float. Okay, like your ball, rubber ball. If the density of an object is more, like weight of the object is more, it is going to get sink in the water like pebble or stone. Okay, so iron nail density is going to be more. So once you throw it, it is going to get sink. Whereas the paperboard density is going to be very less. That's why it floats on the water. Next property is transparency. Okay, so under transparency, we have three objects like transparent, translucent, and opaque. Okay, so this is a property something related to light. Okay, so light is nothing but light is nothing but an object that enables us to see things around us. So transparent objects is nothing but like completely pass through it, and it will be visible. We'll be able to see through the transparent objects. Translucent, only partial amount of light can pass through it. We can see what an object is, but we cannot clearly describe how the object looks. Opaque objects are the objects that do not allow light to pass through it. They're where we get something called shadow. So this is a picture which shows all the three types of transparent objects, like transparency objects. Like first one is transparent completely, where you could see the fruit. B is translucent, you could see the fruit but it's not clear. C is opaque object, where you could not see what the object is behind the opaque object. So in this particular chapter, we discussed about objects around us are made up of large variety of materials. Different types of materials have different properties. Some materials are shining in nature. Some are rough or smooth. Some materials are soluble in water. Some are insoluble. Some materials such as glass are transparent. Some like wood and metals are opaque. Materials are grouped together on basis of similarities and differences in their properties. Things are grouped together for convenience and to study their properties. Okay, so thank you.